Hi Scorpio, welcome to your November 2020 reading and happy birthday to the November Scorpios, as well as happy birthday to the happy belated birthday to the October Scorpios. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? How was your birthday, if it passed? Hope it was great. We're going to get into your November 2020 reading, and I am going to use this. At the top of the deck, we have kunzite. Looks like an ice cube. It's a gentle, loving energy that I feel from this. Yeah, it feels gentle and loving. And yeah, I think of children every time I think of kunzite. So it gives me that kind of vibe on the inside. And here comes the Wheel of Fortune. That was your card for last month. At least that's what I remember it to be. Let's figure out what November is about for Scorpios. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Death, which is the Scorpio card. How I've been structuring my readings is by pulling one card for the theme of your month, and then pulling one card for the theme of your month, and then probing with other cards to figure out or to see what more can be added to the story that's being presented to us. So what knocked this over was, or knocked over the bunch of cards, was the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. I'm feeling this love for work. This love for work. This inspiration, the creativity. This inspiration to work. But then this feels like a person that might be trying to distract you, or someone that might want your attention at this time. Yeah, it feels like someone trying to get your attention, because that card was the card that knocked all the other cards over. And then those three were the ones that were upright. Anyway, all right, let's get into discovering what the theme of the month for November is for our Scorpios. Scorpio season in full effect at this time. A lot of endings. I'm finding that within myself. I had a plan for 5 years, and this month I noticed, like, I had this feeling of just repotting it, because I repotted it, put it in a new pot, but I was just feeling, because while it was looking healthier, it was just also not. It was perkier, but the leaves were getting wilty and thin. Some of them, not all. Only to discover that the plant was rotting on the inside. Some parts of it was a peace lily, and it was just absorbing, I have no idea what, or if I was watering it too much. Anyways, I had to say goodbye to that plant. Although I have some aspects of it, because the way that it grows, you can take pieces of it. So I have some pieces of it, but I say all that to say that the ending of things is being felt by me. I don't know if it's being felt by you, Scorpios, during your season. Let's see what the month has in store for you. Let's see what the month has in store for you. We're probing to see what the theme of the month of November has for our Scorpios. What I'm going to be doing, Scorpio, is presenting a story to you. If it resonates, please take it. If it doesn't, don't force it. We're going to look into November right now and see what it is that is coming. November. When I think of November, I think of orange, but on the ground. I think of leaves on the ground versus orange trees. Where I live, we have autumn, and yeah, the leaves turn orange. but by November, it's all on the ground. All right, we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Ooh. And your theme of the month is the King of Cups. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. I don't know if this is your energy, if you are the theme of your month, or the King of Cups. First things that come to mind is channeled creativity. What else comes to mind? I think of a Pisces when I think of the King of Cups. A Pisces man. A person that's creative. Their room is just an art studio with things everywhere to the observer, but to them it's fully functional. There's a sense of chaos, although, yeah, there's a sense of emotional turbulence that I feel, although he does represent, in his highest form, emotional stability. What I'm feeling from this is not so much that part, but I have no context, so let's see. What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio? What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio for the month of November? What is the King of Cups here to show? I got the idea of a lover. This possibly being a lover to you. And they're experiencing some emotional instability. What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio for the month of November? Ace of Cups at the bottom twice today. The Nine of Swords. What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio for the month of November? All messages are for Scorpio's highest good. What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio for the month of November? What is the King of Cups here to show Scorpio for the month of November? I do want to mention now, though, because I keep saying for the month of November, that this reading is timeless whenever you see it and it resonates, take it. But what is this theme here to show us? Can we get some more insight to the King of Cups? More insight to the King of Cups. What is he here to show us? At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. Let's see. King of Cups. We have the Hanged One. We have the Ace of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the High Priestess. I feel like the truth is ruffling feathers with those around you. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this is channeled water energy. It could be intuition. It could be creativity. It could be just feeling your feelings and understanding them. I was feeling instability before, but now as this story is being presented, it's actually turning in a different way where the emotions are balanced. But you know what I was feeling? That instability, I'm feeling that there was a sense of instability before there was a sense of stability because something shifted. I'm seeing that with the Hanged One, a change in perspective. And this is the Neptune card. I feel like there was a need to change your perspective because the way you were looking at things was getting blurry. It was possibly becoming like a fairy tale, something unrealistic. And there was a need to shift how you observed that, how you took it in. And that shift has put you in a place where now you're seeing things for what they are, the truth. And it's conflicting. It could be with your own internal ideas of how things should be, or your external world, or both, because what happens on the inside of us happens on the outside. I feel like there is this, things are adjusting around you as you have adjusted. So you were once in this energy of feeling topsy-turvy, and now something, either another aspect of you is feeling that way, or your environment. But I feel like it's your environment. And while that is, you're stable and trusting this. Like you're trusting, you're knowing right now, you're trusting it. But I feel like this energy here with the Two of Pentacles is now what to put your weight on. Like where do I go next? In terms of, I have my emotions figured out. Now, where do I go next externally? Where do I go next in this material world? What next? But wherever it is, it's going to be, there's a desire to go though. There's a desire to go. And because it feels so determined, you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. What has my attention is the Five of Wands, but I'm going to go in order. Am I? You know what? Let me not make promises. We're going to probe all these energies. So how I've been probing is removing the cards that we're not using and keeping the card that we will use as the focal point, and then probing. So I do want to look at that, and I want to use this deck. And at the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. So maybe this shift within yourself is also shifting your sense of security. Your sense of security, your sense of stability. Yep. But it's again lucrative. There's this energy of wherever you put this energy into, it's going to reap. You're going to receive from it. This is a receiving energy. It's waiting. You're going to receive. And out comes the Six of Cups. That reminds me of earlier when the Ace of Cups came out with the Eight of Pentacles and that Knight of Cups. I don't know, that person that I felt was a distraction from your work, or someone now that maybe, you know what just came to my mind? It's not that they're a distraction, but you used to be focused on them and now you're focused on your work and they want your attention again. But I'm just feeling a more mature vibe from you. A more mature vibe from before. And this now, I feel like I'm in the energy of someone observing you. It's like, oh, Scorpio's kind of different. And as we talk about that, we're probing the Hanged One, which is a change in perspective. Let's see. We are probing the Hanged One for Scorpio's November 2020 reading. Can we get more insight? Can we get more insight? More insight as to what the Hanged One is here to show us. I'm gonna try to not do that. What is the Hanged One here to show us? And I'm also getting the vibe of agility. The vibe of understanding your weight and how to balance yourself in this shift in perspective, in this shift of environment. All right. At the bottom of the deck, we have Five of Swords. Again, that conflicting energy. Ooh, with the Five of Wands, the Five of Swords is more conflict. All right, let's understand a little bit more. So the Hanged One has the Knight of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Interesting. 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 So I feel like there was something new that got your attention that you went full force into. And that full force action has led you into a confident energy. Has led you into a confident energy. And I feel like you were studying. It feels like you were studying. Like it started with inspiration. This feels like inspiration. Like, oh, this is inspiring. And through that inspiration, you have a sense of confidence. Maybe it was because before that, you were feeling not so passionate, not as passionate as you're used to feeling. So this is the revival of that passion through inspiration. And whatever caught your attention, you decided to take your time with it and understand it a little bit more. A little more detailed, oriented. You're a fixed sign, so that's not a surprise at all. Taking your time to understand the faculties of whatever it is that caught your attention. And now there's this defense of it. Now you learned it, you understand it, and now you're going to defend it. Now it almost feels like you are operating in honor of it, in reverence of it, in allegiance to it. Whatever it was that changed you is something that you respect, is what I'm getting from this. And this change in perspective is grounded. It's grounded, it feels. Yeah, it feels grounded. It feels grounded. And with this energy, you're changed by it. And now I'm understanding that topsy-turvy energy at first because I feel like the change in perspective was something that had you, it changed your world. It changed your world, and now you're different because of it. Now you're different, not in a good or bad way, but you're different as a result of it, being this hanged person, but also in the defense of it. Like, nope. I'm rooted here. I'm rooted. It's not obnoxious, but it feels like you're experiencing challenges, like you're ready for it. And the reason why you're ready for it, it's interesting. He's holding the 1 and they're 5, and then it just brings me back to the 5 of Wands. Here it is, you defending yourself against whatever this is, but you're ready for it. Because what you're defending yourself with is that inspiration, is that passion. With the Ace of Swords is what this feels like to the 5. Interesting. And at the bottom of the 5 of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords. And I don't know if I said swords when I said Ace of Swords, but I meant to say Ace of Wands to the 5 of Wands. There's some clarity on your end. There's some clarity. Okay, so here, change in perspective. Let's look at the 5 of Wands. Let's look at the 5. We have the Emperor, the Queen of Swords, the 7 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. Yeah, this feels like people that don't want to change. So I have to go close my window. It was open a crack, a teeny weeny crack. It's freezing in here. That's what happens. Fall in Toronto. I don't know if you can relate, but it is cold. For my body, it's cold. And I'm, biased because I like summer. So maybe that's why it feels super, super duper cold, but it really is not warm. I feel like you're competing with someone that they think that their world is, but the succession of this anyway. So this person or people or environment that you're in feels like, excuse me, yeah, you're different now. And it's challenging my rules for myself. It's challenging that. And maybe they are verbal about it. You don't feel like you're bothering anybody. It feels like you're just different. Maybe you were decisive and you ended something with that energy. Maybe you did something to communicate with this energy, but I feel like they're bothered. They're bothered by you. They're bothered by you. And they're trying to get slick mentally with you, play little mind games. I feel like this is you, actually. This feels like you. Stable, and yeah, no, this is the truth, and I'm honoring it. That sword is this one right here. This is the truth, and I'm honoring it. And it's also at the bottom of this. This is the truth, and I'm honoring it. And I see them trying to outthink you, but guess where they're headed? They're headed to an ending. One where their world is now different because you're different, because whatever it is that you are approaching them with is true. And the way that they were living was in opposition to this. So now they're shifting to that truth, and it has ended something. Feels like their views are different, possibly. Or maybe this is the end of communication with this person, but it feels like something as a result of you being different in this environment with this person, situation, is now resulting in the ending of something. The ending of something. You challenge them by being yourself, not deliberately to challenge them, but it did. It provoked them, and now they are either not talking to you, or you're not talking to them, or they are different. What is this truth that was bestowed upon you? We have the High Priestess. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. And with the High Priestess, just more confirmation. Twice she's out. This truth, I feel, was something that was sensed by you. Scorpios have a psychic ability. They are water, and water is indicative of intuition. It is feeling based, and Scorpio is depth, very deep. Still waters run deep is a quote that is often used to describe a Scorpio. It's either that or a Cancer, but when I think of that, I think of a Scorpio. And the idea that Scorpios are investigative. They want to understand why, so that they either repeat it or don't repeat it, because I find Scorpio to be self-improving, transformation, the idea of regenerating. And in order to do that, they have to know the system. They have to know the process. So I feel like with this, there was this psychic sense. Your little spidey senses came to life because of something that took place. You felt this vibe. You felt the truth. But it was hard to convince your mind of it. And I feel as a result, you were feeling ostracized. Was that the word that I want to use? This has a strong feeling of inadequacy. This has a strong feeling of that, where I feel like as a result of that, you start to question yourself. This mental indecision of, I don't know if I can trust this. You start to question yourself and go through the process. This feels like that energy I was feeling earlier with the topsy-turvy. It's interesting how it's present in so many different ways, but this feels like that adjustment to recognizing that, okay, I'm going to go on this journey. And I'm inclined to trust what it is. I'm no longer indecisive. I'm inclined to trust it. I'm inclined to go on this journey. And it feels like you are the person leading it as well as the person on it. You're taking yourself there. This feels very self-motivated. And there's this effort to remove yourself out of the space of feeling inadequate. But it's just the transition. This feels like the transition of the truth. This feels like the transition. So now you felt you felt the vibe with the High Priestess. You felt it. Now it's like, whew, can I trust it? I'm not sure. This is that integration period of everything around you now shifting because of it with the Five of Pentacles. But then at the same time, questioning yourself and feeling inadequate in some way. There's a shift that you had to make inside of yourself to be able to hold this new truth, that now you are open to exploring yourself, as well as you're open to witnessing as the person on the boat, and then you're also open to exploring it. This reminds me of the Ace of Wands. So it's like that same energy that you're using. Where is it? here it is, from the Six of Wands, that feels like that same energy here, where whatever it is that you're holding on to it because it matters. It's important to you and it is propelling you forward. Very interesting and inspired. It feels so purposeful. You know what? I feel like you found your purpose. I think I said this in your last reading. I feel like you found your purpose. It feels so purposeful. Purposeful is the word. All right, let's check out the homie, the High Priestess. What's she here to say? And she's here twice. What is she here to show us? High Priestess, the Two of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, the World, and the Hanged One. Here it is. Yep. Here it is. Double confirmation. And it's so interesting how dynamic this reading is right now, because in the Ace of Swords, we had the High Priestess being the gut feeling for what triggered this feeling. And then within that, we're getting even more confirmation as to the Hanged One. Again, what was the shift? So the gut feeling was what shifted you. And it feels like, It's interesting too, building off of October, because in October, I remember, in your October reading, I remember there being a connection that you were writing off with the Five of Cups. There were 3 cups that were spilled and 2 that remained behind the back of the person looking at the 3 spilled cups. And what came out to that was the Two of Cups with the High Priestess. And it was that this union or this connection was something felt by your intuition. So I am inclined to go back and bring that story up, as I just did, to add it to this one where it's like, it feels like whatever you felt transformed everything. Whatever you felt has transformed your emotion. It has transformed the way that you are approaching life in general. With this is life in general in terms of your perspective. This is how you see yourself. You're now the prize. But then also how you are approaching the endeavors that you bring down to earth, down to this 3 dimension through your manifestation abilities, through the law of attraction. So this is how you make money, how you connect with others, and more not as intimately as this one, but more, I don't want to say an audience, but more socially. Let's just use that word. This feeling has changed many things within you. And there is this connection here that is at the head of this. So I feel like this is where it was felt first. It was felt first with a connection with someone. And in the beginning, I am remembering again the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, and this Knight of Cups. I'm trying to get your attention. Maybe that Knight of Cups is the male or the masculine energy in this union here. Because Scorpio is a feminine sign, or is often seen as a feminine sign, because there's different ways to look at astrology. But the more common way to observe it is by seeing Scorpio as a feminine sign. So the masculine energy could be that knight that's trying to get your attention. But what I'm feeling for you right now is things are moving, Scorpio. And you're trusting your intuition when it comes to your work. You're trusting your intuition when it comes to seeing the world and yourself as a reflection of the world that is yours. You're using your intuition when it comes to being the guidance to your sight in general. So it's like outer sight, inner sight, work, and emotion or connection. And then not to mention this drive with the wands. It feels balanced. We have action we have material, we have emotion, and then we have communication and truth. So I'm gonna recap so that we're all on the same page. Intuition, the Hanged One, Ace of Swords, and the Five of Wands. All to the King of Cups, which feels like you. All right, here we go. So the theme of your month is the King of Cups. This is now this is now showing me a balanced emotional state. And it's supported by a change in perspective, the truth, approaching conflict, and intuition. This feels like a conflicting environment. I said that it could be that or something happening internally, but it feels like a conflicting environment. The reason I say that is because beneath it, we had cards that showed an environment where something was fixed by law, or maybe the culture of a space, or maybe just the integrity of a person. They were looking at something from this perspective. And now, you being how you are, and it feels like through communication, unprovoked, like it doesn't feel aggressive. Through communication, they tried to outmaneuver you with the truth that you're holding. They try to maneuver. They try to be cunning. That's what they try to be, sneaky and cunning. And in that, something ended. It could be your communication with them. It could be their perspective on the world. It could be how they see things. Yeah, their perspective. But regardless, the conflict that you were feeling is now over in some way, because this person that you were conflicted is the Emperor here, that thinks that they know everything. They're realizing that they don't, and that they can't move you. That's just the point of that conflict. They realize they can't move you. You're stable and sturdy in whatever it is that you're in. Now, to confirm that sturdiness, we have under the Hanged One, this change in perspective, and went this way with this inspiration that had you confidently exploring something that made you feel passionate. It revived an aspect of you that was latent, and this revival is making you feel more like yourself again. Now, as whatever this is that you're holding, this inspiration, you were inspired, and then it turned into something that you started to take more seriously. Like, what? There's something to it. And in the end of this, maybe it was a studying period or a period of deliberation or some period. It feels like a period of getting to know something. You realize that what it is something important. It's the start of something new. And you're holding that start of something new with confidence as you defend conflict, like the one here. And it could be who you're fighting in this situation is that Emperor. You're not, I have to emphasize, you're being provoked. Like, you're being provoked to fight. You're defending yourself against this. You're defending yourself against a threat. And now we know through exploring the Five of Wands that you came out victorious, or let's say unmoving, because whatever it is that you're holding is something that you want to uphold the integrity of. It's something that changed you. Now, that something that changed you was prompted by your intuition. It was prompted by maybe a gut feeling, maybe a psychic sense. It could be through a dream or a vision, but it was something. It was something. I don't want to use the word supernatural, but it was something unseen that made you stop what you were doing, and it had you feeling like, can I trust this? I'm scared to trust this. I'm scared to put my weight on it. I'm scared. I'm scared to trust this. I'm scared to trust this. The logic behind it, I can't quite reconcile it. So I'm unsure. And then you went through the transition phase of integrating what it is that you know to be true to now exploring it, not just through inspiration, but now through your mind and emotion, because they're sailing on water. So there's this with the swords, there's a sense of mental exploration, or a sense of, yeah, mental exploration, a steady mental exploration. Maybe this is a study that you're just gonna do until you don't, but there's no destination here. It's the journey. Like you're going I don't say there's no destination, but it feels like the traveling is gonna take some time. So there's no rush is what I'm saying. There's no rush. And it's having you explore your mind and your emotions in a different way. And that was all under the Ace of Swords. So while this is being experienced in your emotions, your mind is set and the truth is understood. And under the High Priestess, we have the Hanged One. So here we now know that this gut feeling that prompted the truth is what changed your perspective. It was prompted again by your intuition, and it has changed your perspective. How was it? It was like this. Yeah. It has changed your perspective in reference to a connection, in reference to your ability to collaborate as well as participate in the world socially through your purpose, or through what it is that you're good at. It has changed your perspective on your view of yourself. It feels holistic. And then it has changed your perspective on your view of the world. I feel like you're no longer focused on yourself, and now you can see like the veil between self and the world is shattered. And now there's the understanding that duality was a phase, and now you're at this holistic place where as above, so below, as within, so without. It feels like a form of self-mastery. Very nice to see. Happy for you. And again, whatever it is that you choose here, there's drive to get it done, whatever it is. And it feels like it's going to be lucrative. It feels that way. And then again, we have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the Seven of Swords. Is it? No, with the 5. More conflict. All right, let's do a focus. What's a focus on? What just fell? The Chariot. Some more movement. And the Chariot also came out earlier. Oh, right. The Chariot's at the bottom of the deck that we used to get the theme. There's this movement. This feels really fresh and it feels right. If right was a feeling, it feels good like that. All right, let's get your focus. As I do this, I'm realizing that I didn't do this for Aries. I forgot to do it for Aries, get their focus, although there was a focus for their month, but I'm realizing that Aries didn't get a focus. So one thing that I wanted to add this month, and as you can see, it's a process of communication. Came out. It's a process to integrate. How I wanted to do the readings is have a theme and then at the end have a focus. So I'm slowly integrating that new thing. If your next reading doesn't have it, don't take it personally. It's just, I'm not forcing it. It's just going to happen when it happens. All right, so we have communication. It came out the deck for you to know. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. Now, again, back to the truth. It feels connected to that. The sense of holisticness, of understanding that you are a system. let's see. What is the focus for the month of November for Scorpio? What is the focus for the month of November for Scorpio? What is their focus? What is their focus? What is the focus for the month of November for Scorpio? What is the focus for the month of November for Scorpio? What is the focus? All messages are for Scorpio's highest good. What is the focus for the month of November? Let's see. Mercury goes retro. So Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 3rd of November. And later in the month, it will move. I think later this November, it will move back into Scorpio. Okay, so at the bottom, we have integration, 30. Interesting. The frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. Talk about that shattering of duality. Feels very that. Let's see. We have discernment, 20. Discernment says the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet compassion and wisdom. Discernment. And I'm thinking of the Hanged One with that one. Passion. 34. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within its intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. There's wisdom in both of these things, as well as balance. And then this was emotional stability, right? Interesting. Next, we have solar plexus, 3. The frequency of solar plexus, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing. And knowing is in italics, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution to the whole. And what is our contribution to the whole? Again, that reminds me of the feeling that you found your purpose, and that thing that you're holding, that wand that you're holding is your purpose, and you're willing to defend it. Whew. Get goosebumps. We have consciousness. 17. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multi-dimensional aspects that show up that we can include so that we can include them into our reality. Let me read that again. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multi-dimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them into our reality. I'm feeling this feeling of mastery, Scorpio, self-mastery, and it feels humble. There's no, hey, everyone, like, look what I can do. It feels like, oh my gosh, this is where I am right now. Whew, okay. And honoring it. So now, if you're in the space where you're feeling topsy-turvy and maybe you're questioning if you're crazy, I am inclined to tell you that you're not. If you're in the space of feeling like you're inadequate because what you now want to do because of the truth that I'm holding the sword, because of the truth that you felt is shifting you away from maybe the status quo or the way that everybody does this, understand that you are doing what's best. And if you are on the end of this, now you're realizing all of this. Humility is essential. Compassion came out, and compassion and empathy keep us in a space of gratitude, which keeps us humble. Just remember, to stay in tune to the heart space, the emotional balance. That's amazing, Scorpio. All right. That was your November 2020 reading. If this resonated, please give the video a like. This was a message that came out through me for you. So I am not the focus at all. And that's also why I feel like seeing my face is unnecessary, although you'll see it in other videos. But in the tarot readings, it doesn't feel necessary. If this resonated and you want to comment, you feel the need to comment, or you feel the impulse, please do it. Please comment, please, so that we can have a healthy dialogue. And if you like content like this, don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of it. All right, I'll see you in your December reading. Take care and continue what it is that you're working on. It's amazing. Toodles.